Hello. Today we'll talk about something slightly different than usual. It's still related to AI and related to computers, but not what I usually talk about. This is not any kind of tutorial. This is a little bit of a rant and basically a philosophical take on how things should be done and they're not being done. So if you've seen some of my other videos, I talked about different companies not handling customer service properly, and I had some posts on LinkedIn, those little rants. I even had a video on YouTube about LG when I had some battery problems many years ago. Amazingly enough, it had a huge number of people watching that video, so I guess people like rants. But today I want to talk about something else. But today we have a totally different topic, and that is cigars. I was trying to buy this particular cigar set from this company for my favorite relative who I'm going to visit soon. And I went to their website, which is fine, nothing wrong with the website. Went through the motions, put in my payment information, all that kind of stuff. Trying to pay it, put in my payment info, put in the shipping address, everything worked the way it's supposed to work. Finally, when I got down to the bottom of all the info, they have a button that says verify age. I thought, okay, I'll click on that. It started doing this little animation and then came right back showing nothing, doing nothing. It just sat on that screen, wouldn't let me continue to finish the order. So I tried looking at various ways of being able to get past it. I couldn't do it. Conveniently, they have a little phone number, 800 phone number at the bottom, saying if you have any issues, call us. Okay. So I figured now is a good time to call because I can't get through this order. I give them a call. Nice lady answers the phone very quickly. I'm not going to name companies, but you can tell from the image here which company is doing this. And she was very apologetic for me having some problems and so on and so forth. But the bottom line being is because it's cigars, they need to verify age. And so the only way they verify it is by me having to send them a copy of my driver's license, which is a deal breaker immediately as soon as it was mentioned, because I'm not scanning my license, I'm not sending it to anybody, I'm just not doing it, period. So basically they killed the sale. And I explained that to them, that you're actually killing a sale right there, and you're probably leaving a ton of money on the table by forcing this kind of policy. And she says, well, the laws are laws, and if you're selling cigars, you have to verify that the person is of a proper age. And of course, different states are a little different, but basically there is a verification. So I told her, I said, that's great. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't be. I'm just saying you should be doing it in a different way than asking people to scan and send their driver's license or passport or something like that. So again, she apologized. Very nice lady. She did a great job. But the bottom line being, they lost an order, and obviously I would never order anything from them again if the policy stays as is. So then I decided to do a little experiment. I thought I would go to ChatGPT and simply ask it, how old am I? And I gave him my name, which is very unique. This is not like a usual name, but I indicated which city I am just in case. So it came back saying she can't find publicly available information. It looked for 12 sources, 4 searches, couldn't find the exact date or birth or age it says. I found out that I've been running my company since 1987, okay? And the profiles on LinkedIn and Skylar say that I've been in IT for 4+ decades, which is also accurate. Immigrated from former Soviet Union. In other words, it's giving me a bunch of information that is absolutely has nothing to do with what I'm asking here. I just want to know how old that person is. In this case, it's me, so I can verify it's accurate. So ChatGPT is not an option. So I thought, okay, how about if we use Claude? Same question. How old is Oleg Moskalinsky from Redmond, Washington? As you can see here, it says I don't have specific information about Oleg from Redmond, Washington. In my knowledge base appears to be a request for personal information about a private individual, which I would not be able to provide even if I had access to it. So they limit it to if you're doing anything personal stuff like that, they're not doing it, which is understandable, and kudos to them for trying to keep people's privacy. Nothing wrong with that. But the bottom line, using either ChatGPT or using Claude in this instance here is not going to do anything. So then I went to my old buddy Perplexity, my favorite way to look up stuff online. And sure enough, how old is Oleg Moskalinsky? Right there. Okay? Immediately, it doesn't give you any fluff. It doesn't tell you about what it can or can't do. It just comes back with an answer, which is why I absolutely love Perplexity. Some of these things here are the same things that other LLMs could look up and see, just like Perplexity did. And if you do a search on Google asking for it, it's not going to give you the exact answer, but it will give you links, including this Radaris thing, which does show the proper answer. So any of them could be doing it, but they're not. And so the moral of the story is, outside of the fact that I'm old, even though everybody's telling me I'm not as old as they look, but obviously that's highly debatable, and according to AI, I am as old as I am. But this is something to consider from business standpoint. I think businesses should look into their policies, especially businesses who do e-commerce. And if you're going to put people through the hassle of having them scan some document and email it to you just to make an order, you're absolutely losing a ton of business this way. There's no question about it. Because I'm sure a lot of people, maybe not all people, but a lot of people have exactly the same feeling I do. This is way too much hassle for what you get. My point here is that companies spend a lot of money, time, and effort to create marketing materials and to do advertising, and they completely, totally lose it by having these kind of policies in terms of actually making money. They're doing all this stuff to make money, and then they lose all this money by having these, what I call inept policies. So you definitely want to be doing everything legally, no question. But at the same time, there are definitely better ways to handle legal issues and compliance issues than simply putting people through a bunch of hassle to be able to get them done. And this is a clear example of how it can be done. Just use API with Perplexity, do a little lookup, how old is Oleg. I can understand if you're looking for somebody named John Smith, even if you're looking for a particular vicinity, then this would be more difficult. But considering the fact that I put in my billing and shipping information, but billing is the important one, and on the billing information I indicated my full address, then you can actually do a lookup using API with Perplexity or any other service specifically for not just the name, but also at that address. And if you can't find it, then obviously you can't verify it, then you can go to plan B, which is you need to send us your driver's license if you want to be able to buy this item. I mean, nothing wrong with that if you cannot verify it. But if you can verify it and see what the age is, then you don't have to put people through this hassle and potentially lose a ton of sales because of it. So that's my video today. And until next time, I'm Oleg.